Okay, welcome back to a twin flame path. Um, don't mind this situation. This is just my blanket, but I needed to take a snuggle. Um, this is what I need when I find out about tuition potentially being $40,000 for 1 year. Um, yeah, it's like I'm studying for a second bachelor's now. That's one thing. But now I'm thinking about transferring to a graduate program, which ultimately I know is the best thing for me overall in my entirety. But I just tripped out a little bit, so I'm still like simmering down, and I needed to get back on the mic because ultimately this video is the subject of this video is very important to me right now. And I just really think that, I just got excited and I wanted to share it. And so, welcome back. It's good to be back. So, let's get started. Where have I been? I've just been in these streets. No, I'm just kidding. I've been in the streets of my mind. That's for real. Yeah, this subject is real. How do I even put this? It's just so broad, but it's something that needs to be paid attention to, and that's just like your surroundings, the world around you. It could be called synchronicities sometimes, but synchronicities are just like part of it. And, they could be a big part of it too, like everything that you may see and stuff lining up. But then it starts lining up like in a real kind of way, like vibrant and vivid and clearly undeniable, right? And then you just have to like chill. And I personally have to grab my cloak and kind of simmer down. I've been having to simmer down for more things than just $80,000 tuitions, which I'm still tripping about. Awesomeness, by the way, but everything has just been moving fast, and I wanted to share, because I don't even know how to categorize this, what the title of this is gonna be. Synchronicities, the world lining up, the world around you. Pay attention. Put your goggles on. I don't know, but yeah. So what I've noticed is that the world is coming together, but I think when you reach maybe the collective, maybe as an individual, when you reach a certain plateau or point, stuff just kind of lines up even tighter, the lane gets narrower and stuff just starts moving really quickly. And I think that it's highly beneficial to all parties involved to pay attention. I'm speaking about myself, but what I mean by that is that when you're paying attention, when I'm paying attention, it benefits my other half, you know? And I love that. And that is like super awesome motivation, inspiration, like awesome feels, good feelings. Like it's just good. It's all good, you know, when you get to that point. So I like thrive on that, you know. I like when I have those kind of like, you know, bell ding, aha, like woo, wow kind of moments. I love that too. But what I really love is what comes next, you know, and that usually is like the bouncing off of like what he may have gotten from that. And maybe what I experience is what, you know, is a byproduct of what he just experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine like this kind of mirroring effect going on. So by paying attention closely to the world around you, it can be something as minor as like the food that you eat. You know, like you're trying to change diet and you just noticed over time the way that things fluctuate and they change, and when they fluctuate you kind of just like you're on your raft in the ocean and like the waves are just kind of carrying you. You're not tripping, you're not like going overboard, like you're just like, okay, this is just what it is. And what kind of helps maybe during times of turbulence, and I'm relating this to food because sometimes with food you just want to have your way, right? When you're trying hard, you just want to have your way. So it's the same thing with like life. Sometimes stuff is just like hard, but sometimes it's just a matter of things coming together. And I'm not saying that everything in the world dictates what you do yourself. But what I will say is that you can kind of start picking up on certain energies that are occurring in the world in general. And they may not be directly affecting your life or your country or your neighborhood or even like you as a person, but as an individual you can kind of feel what your response is, and then you can take that into account and you kind of combine it with everything else, and from there you kind of just learn to chill and absorb and make your way through. And this is a testament not to me but to my twin flame and ultimately to God. And that's what all of this leads to. I'm Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ thoroughly. Like there's undeniable, right? So when the way that I hear God, the way that he speaks to me, you know, sometimes it leads me to having certain dialogues or interactions with people, just like in a supermarket or with my twin flame, or just feeling like a particular connection to some catastrophic world event, right? And what I've learned more about lately is empathy. And not just empathy like, oh, I'm feeling what you're feeling, like that empath, new agey kind of definition of that. What I mean is like sincerely like wanting somebody's situation to get better, no matter if you guys come from the same culture or have the same beliefs or whatever, you know, you just are like, that looks rough. Don't want anyone going through that. I don't even care like what the details are, you know, just uncool. So that might lead you to praying in a different way and listening in a different way and receiving in a different way. And being Christian, that's one thing, but I think ultimately, like, doing your best, like, as like a human being, like, of this planet, I think that is what kind of leads to a certain kind of salvation. And what I've noticed is that when you reflect good into those situations, not saying you should do it for this specific reason, but you'll reap a benefit. And that benefit will in turn help you learn something. And that, when you keep carrying it forward, it lends to the twin flame experience. It's kind of hard to articulate. I won't even begin to say that if I was listening to myself right now, that I would just be like, oh, that makes perfect sense. But I know what I'm saying, man. Basically, it's keep trying, but also doing your research. Because also doing your research about particular situations may lead you into understanding more, not only about the situation, but about, like, yourself. And that in turn leads to many paths of goodness. You can just choose one, and everything that you need will be down that path, and the rest won't even matter, because they kind of carry themselves forward. Like, if you choose one path, it's not like you're not choosing others. Those others kind of get supernaturally transplanted onto the path ahead, if they still needed even to be there, because some might be like duplicates of each other, some may not be like necessary, like after a while, or after you learn a particular thing. So, and what I mean about the world, it's not only like what's happening certain places, like trends, or I'm looking at my nail, by the way. I have a little tiny snag on my nail and I need to file it, so I need to just chill. So yeah, so what I mean by like paying attention to the world is that everyone is different, but let's go with weather patterns. Like, try to see what that weather means for a particular place, right? And see how it may fit into relation to something else that happened with the weather. And try to think of how that weather is affecting the land. Like, that, to me, those things bring you a degree closer to nature, not just, that's just what happened. That's just what happens. That's just what's happening. And, like a good example is what's happening in Hawaii right now, like crazy lava. Like, think about that, mad catastrophe, right? Stuff is just getting demolished, and it really hasn't been letting up. But if you think about the history of that island and what the current state of its condition is doing to it now, how it's affecting the people, and how that may make you feel. And then in turn, you can think of the empathy that you have, and the sympathy and the feelings that you have for the people who, regardless of everything, are really getting everything destroyed. And you go into that thought without judgment. I think that is a kind of cure for karma, in a way. It's, I think, in some sort of way, to some degree, it's helpful because you have the opportunity to wish better for people, pray for better for people, but also practicing non-judgment. So I don't know if that's making sense. It's making sense to the degree that I'm talking about it, the way that I'm feeling it, but you know, little things like that, not little, but things like that tend to bring everything closer to home and people closer together, you know? And that is a form of meditation, which in turn is a form of like self-reflection. And the self-reflection is what leads to all those beautiful things that bring you closer to your twin flame. Does this make sense? I feel like I'm making sense. You know, I feel like I make sense with a lot of things, but sometimes I feel like I'm not very easy to understand. But I know what I'm saying, but I think like the disclaimer for this video is the same for the other videos that I've done. It's kind of like, don't take it as protocol or like a hardcore syllabus. Here we go back at that school situation again, which I think I'm still like, whoa about. But, you know, don't take it as like the strict outline. You know, you kind of take it as like a garden of like thousands of different kinds of flowers. And you're like, I like this one, you know, and I'm just gonna stay with this, you know, and that's that. You know, you don't have to pay attention to everything else. That one is just for you. So with that, I am going to, I don't even know what I'm gonna do right now. I know I have schoolwork, and I know that I have work, and then I know I have more work. So that's my agenda, but I wanted to at least make an attempt to get these thoughts verbalized, articulated, put out there. So we'll see how it goes. I hope all is well for you, and all is well for me, and pray for each other. It's all good. Trust in that. Trust each other. So I'll talk to you the next time. Bye.